industry by acquiring a big stake in Chrysler, which is already in bankruptcy. A court in New York is ruling today on whether that deal can go ahead, against objections from Chrysler dealers and creditors. The example of Chrysler gives General Motors hope that its own bankruptcy can go quickly and smoothly, with the new leaner and meaner GM emerging from the court process within just a few months. It's now putting the final pieces in place to prepare for a bankruptcy filing by next Monday. Greg Wood, BBC News, New York.
Well, joining me now from our Washington bureau is Edward Harrison from creditwritedown.com. That's a US-based website which monitors the auto industry and the global economy. Edward, if you could be a fly on the wall at that meeting between Angela Merkel and representatives of General Motors, I mean, what do you think is likely to be on the agenda? What's likely to be the focus of that discussion?
I think the focus of the discussion for the Germans in particular is going to be how many jobs are going to be saved and what sort of plan can we present to the German people right before a general election. And Angela Merkel, she's come under a great deal of strain over the last few months with her handling with the banks and so forth. So she really wants to get this done in a way that's politically helpful to the CDU and the CSU parties that are going to be going into the general elections.
And if GM sells off its European operations, what will it mean for the rest of General Motors, and in particular on your side of the Atlantic?
Well, you know, I don't think that it's going to mean it's going to be a game changer, because basically bankruptcy is going to happen at this point. The bondholders in the United States have already said that they're not going to accept the deal which was given to them, which was basically to take 10% of the company in for the $27 billion in debt that they had with their bonds. And so we're going to see bankruptcy. And that process is going to be dictated by the U.S. government, basically because the U.S. government has already come up with a plan in which they would be the majority shareholder. So you're going from what's now General Motors to what people euphemistically call government motors, where the U.S. government is going to be the majority shareholder of General Motors. And again, it's going to be a very political process, because the United States is going to have a general election for Congress in 2010. And it's very important for Barack Obama and the Democrats that they see this through in a way that is going to continue the upward momentum of the economy. And so they're going to really clamp down and make sure that this happens in a way that that's similar enough to what we've seen in Chrysler already.
And just briefly, I mean, as we heard, Fiat is aiming to buy Chrysler. If it buys GM's European operations, are we going to see a future where Americans are all going to be driving around in tiny Italian cars?
That may well be the case. I think that the Chrysler deal was a very good deal for Fiat. It gives them a good beachhead into the United States market. On the other hand, you have to wonder how Fiat's going to be able to take over Opel as well at the same time, and yet only be able to cut 2,000 jobs. There's enormous overlap between those two organizations. And really, I think that this is more or less a positioning, it's a negotiating tactic. The reality might be a lot more stark than 2,000 jobs lost in Germany.
Edward Harrison, thank you very much.